How's everybody doing today? So today I'm going to do something, a little bit different. I'm going to do a comparison video between these two knives. And, they're similar in some ways and different in other ways. But I'm just going to talk a little bit about them and talk a little bit what I like about what I enjoy about each one. And there are, like I said, there are some similarities. So this is the Berg Blades Sweeney. And this is a titanium and Ultim frame lock with a 20 CV satin finished blade. Really nice looking knife, and one that I've really been enjoying over the past couple weeks. This is the Kizer militaw, and this is also a titanium frame lock, and it also is an Ultim. This is a White Mountain Knives exclusive, and this was a very reasonably priced knife for what you're getting. Titanium 154 cm, and it's just this is a great value. Now these knives do have some similarities, like I said, but obviously there is one glaring difference, and that is the price. Like I said, this is pretty affordable knife. You can get these for probably in the 130, 140 range. And, this is a couple $100 more than that. This is made by Kizer. This one's made by Riat. So I will say this, for the Kizer to be so much cheaper, the quality is there. Is it quite what this one is? Not quite, but it's very good. The lock bar access on both these knives is really similar in a way. They both have this like a scallop section here that's smooth that you can put your thumb on to disengage. And both of them are done in a similar manner. Now, I will say this one has more tension, which I would consider to be like a personal preference. This one, it's very light tension, which probably contributes to the smoothness of this Kizer militaw. It is an incredibly smooth knife, and it does feel like a more expensive, higher dollar knife than it is. That's a testament to the machining capabilities of Kizer and the quality control and the tolerances. So these knives do have, like I said, a lot of similarities. They're both Ultim. They both have titanium frame locks. They both have satin finished blades. The 20 CV is a more premium steel than the 154 cm. Both these knives have channels in the titanium frame for the stop pins to run on both sides of the blade, which I kind of like that. Both of them lock up really well. This just has a really solid feel. This is more of a shake shut knife, to where the Kizer militaw just drops. So very smooth. Both these are front flippers, as well as thumb and reverse flick knives. So multiple forms of deployment on both these knives, and they both work pretty flawlessly. Now, I will say this. The Berg Blades Sweeney has probably the best front flipper I've ever used on any knife, ever. And I don't have extensive knife experience, but I have handled a few. And I will say this design, where it comes around a little bit, and this fine jimping, but still offers good traction, it's just intuitive. And it's a joy to manipulate. This is a knife that is just fun to fidget with, as most knives are today. But this one is, I'd say, a step above, the norm. It just has really good flipping action, and it thwacks out there. You know, you just reverse flick, excellent. Thumb flick, very good. I had my finger on the lock bar there a little bit, so well, there we go. And not the best example there. But the reverse flick, thumb flick, front flip all work really well. This knife, they all work really well as well. Different kind of front flipper. Functionality on it is really good. Not quite as intuitive as the Berg Blades Sweeney, but very good nonetheless. Thumb flick's good. This thing is just smooth. You know, the detent is probably a little lighter than the Berg Blade Sweeney, but they both feel really nice. So we've kind of went over the lock bar, steel lock bar insert on both. Both of these knives lock up solid. No blade play. I mean, I can wrench both these knives, and they're both solid as a rock, and I do appreciate that. These knives are both running on bearings. The Berg Blades I have skiffed. I put skiff bearings in it as well as the circuit tie clip, which that sure does look nice. And I wasn't sure what I'd think about this clip against the Ultim, but I really like it. It gives it a pop of color, and the blue and the yellow, in my opinion, go good together. So that was a pretty cool upgrade on that knife. Speaking of the pocket clips, I guess I should talk about that as well. So this pocket clip on the Sweeney is excellent. You know, there is a little bit of a gap there, but to be honest with you, in and out of the pocket, for me, this thing has been a breeze. I generally wear pants and not like super thick jeans, but it's been excellent. Slides in and out one-handed with ease, you know. So this pocket clip, one of my favorites that I've tried so far on any knife. This one, on the other hand, not so much. So this is like just a stop right here. And anytime you try to put this in your pocket, that's what you get. You get a stop. There's no real ramp until you get like underneath there. It does go in the pocket, you know, decent if you put it in an angle. But if you try to put it in straight on, it's a challenge that's really unnecessary in my opinion. You have this really nice milled titanium pocket clip, and all they had to do was, you know, take a little bit of material out of there and give it a ramp, and it would be in and out of the pocket easy. And everything else on this knife is functionally excellent. You know, so that's a little bit disappointing, but I still can wholeheartedly recommend this knife. It is an excellent value for what you're getting and the quality you're getting. And if you look at the other reviews that are out there on this Kizer militaw, it's pretty obvious that this was something special, especially for the money. As far as design goes, this has a nice aesthetic to it. It's got the milled titanium handle. You can see where the relief cutouts are. It's got the Ultim that comes up over the top, which is a nice touch. And, you know, a little bit of extra hardware there, but it doesn't bother me. It kind of looks kind of nice, really, the way it's laid out. So I like that. This Ultim also has a little bit of texturing to it as to where this Ultim is smooth. You know, so I do like the aesthetic of the Berg Blade Sweeney a little bit more. I like knives that have this profile here where it contours down. Both these knives are incredibly comfortable in the hand. This one's a little bit on the slimmer side, which is fine with me. And you can choke up on both these knives. There is no flipper tab, so you know you can get right behind that edge if you'd like, and you're right there. They both have this little groove for your finger. Both of them are very similar in that way, and there are no hot spots on either of these knives that I have found. I haven't done extensive cutting tests with them, but I have cut quite a bit with the militaw. It is an incredibly comfortable knife to use if you're going to use it for long periods of time. The handle is rounded, contoured, very nice, very comfortable. Yeah, and I did cut quite a bit of wood with this, like whittling, and it was super comfortable. No hot spots, very nice. And it's still razor sharp, you know, still very sharp. So this one also, same deal, very comfortable. The handle is a little bit, you know, more narrow, but it's still incredibly comfortable. As far as thickness goes, they're actually very, very close. These scales are contoured, which I do generally prefer, but this knife is very comfortable nonetheless. Would contoured scales make a difference? Maybe. You know, I wouldn't turn it down if these came with contoured scales. I kind of like that. But I will say this, all the edges on this Berg Blade Sweeney are knocked down and rounded and very comfortable. So it doesn't really bother me that bad that it's not, you know, a contoured scale. Still very comfortable nonetheless. So this is a captive pivot. This is, you know, a free spinning pivot. This one required some Loctite to get it to stop loosening up. Once I did that, it was good to go. I did use the, you know, the blue Loctite so I can get the knife back apart when I need to for maintenance. You know, so once I did that, locked it up, it's good to go. It hasn't come loose yet. And they both been very solid. This one, I haven't touched it. I haven't tightened the pivot. I haven't taken it apart. Actually, I take that back. I did take it apart because it had something like it was grinding in there. And then I just put it back together and it was fine. So I take that back. Both these knives are relatively easy to disassemble and maintain. But I just remembered that, you know, this one had like a gravelly grindiness to it. Once I took it apart, cleaned everything, threw it back together. I didn't change any of the bearings or anything. It was great once again. So I wanted to talk about these two knives because, you know, this could very well be like, you know, a budget version of this knife. These are incredibly, I don't know about incredibly, but rather difficult to get because they're so limited. The militaw, there's plenty of those out there. The exclusive ones, I don't know if they're still out there or not, but they're coming out with new versions. They got a militaw with a DLC blade, 80s fat carbon inlays, which looks really cool, to be honest with you. That's one that I'm kind of interested in. But yeah, so thank you all for joining me tonight. I just wanted to throw this video out there comparing these two knives because they do have a lot of similarities. You know, the price is obviously quite a bit different, but the quality is there for both knives in their respective categories. And actually, you would be surprised how close these two knives are in quality given their price point differences. Now, there are some material differences as far as blade steels, and this grind is you know, definitely nicer in my opinion. It's a prettier grind. They're both, you know, a satin finish on the blade. And they both look good, actually. But I prefer this one a little bit. But I prefer, honestly, this knife slightly. You know, if I had to pick one, it would be the Berg Blade Sweeney. And not just because, you know, the expense. Mostly because the top and the front flipper is so intuitive. The detent's good on both. Detent's a little stronger on the Sweeney. But, yeah, I better cut this off. I could go on about these knives for probably another 20 minutes. But I just wanted to share this video with you guys. These are two knives that released rather recently. And like I said, they do have a lot of similarities, but some differences at the same time. So if you're having trouble getting a hold of the Sweeney, I wouldn't hesitate to pick up a militaw. Like I said, same deployment methods. Similar comfortable feel, no flipper tab. So there's some definite similarities there. Well, like I said, thanks again, everybody. I appreciate you joining me. Y'all have a wonderful evening tonight, and take care out there. Good night.